Hey, everybody, I'm Olympian Carrie Tellefson, and welcome to the See Tolle Run podcast. This week on See Tolle Run, I have Julia Paternain. She won the bronze medal at the World Championships this past fall for Uruguay. And get this, it was only her second marathon. She became the first person from her country to win a World Championship medal. She also holds the national record of 2:27:09 from her debut marathon last spring in the state of New York. Julia is a professional runner for Saucony and McKirdy trained. She lives in Flagstaff, Arizona, and she's getting ready for the NYC Half and her third marathon, the London Marathon, in April. In this episode, we hear all about that epic day in Tokyo. We hear how it changed her life, what her goals are now. We talk about her up-and-coming races this spring and what she does outside of running. So let's get after it. Like, can you even just imagine what has gone on in your last I don't know, year?
Yeah, it's been insane. I feel like my whole life kind of changed a lot. Also it didn't. It's a very strange kind of dynamic where I feel like a lot of things changed, but at the same time, like I'm still just me, just, running. So, yeah, it's been crazy, but all good things and
Yeah.
the whole thing still feels like a fever dream. I see videos of me from Japan and I'm like, that still doesn't feel real, but yeah.
I mean, I love that though. There are very few times in life where we really get surprised by something. And I do think that our sport sort of allows that, maybe more so than somebody that isn't in kind of a performance type career. I think all careers have performance, but you know
Mhm.
what I mean? Like, we have this concrete. Like,
Yeah.
you either do well or you don't, or you either win the first medal for your country like you did at the Tokyo World Championships. Like, that is such a cool thing for you to have happen in your life.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that I'm gonna treasure forever.
Yeah.
And I'm just really grateful that I mean, that's what a lot of people work towards in their career and,
Mhm.
it for a lot of people it doesn't happen and for some it does and I'm just really grateful it was something I was able to do
Yeah.
in my career and yeah, it's definitely going to be something I'm going to treasure forever.
Well, let's talk about your history first, and then I want to get into
Mhm.
the race a little bit, and then obviously what's going to happen now this spring. But you have, and I love this article. I can't remember where it came from, but it says you have three different passports. It talks
Mhm.
about your history, about, growing up. And so I just want to hear it from you. I don't want to screw it up. So tell me a
Mhm.
little bit about your background, and then as you move through that, how you became a runner.
Yeah. So my background is very confusing. um, I feel like even some of my closest friends are still confused with my background and they've known me for years and it
Yeah.
also feels like it's always changing. Like I feel like it's been even more convoluted in the last few years. But so originally I was born in Mexico,
Okay.
but my entire family, like everyone, mom, dad, aunts, uncles, cousins, everyone, is from Uruguay, which a lot of people haven't heard of. Just a tiny little country, 3 million people, or 3.3 or 4 or
Hmm.
something, million people now, in South America, right next to Argentina and Brazil.
Hmm.
And so my whole family is from there. I grew up speaking Spanish and then learned English like when I was in school. But me, my mom, and my dad moved to England right before I was about to turn 2.
Okay.
So, I mean, I grew up in England. I did the whole schooling system in England. I had a very, very British accent my whole life. Um, I have never been able to sit still, so, I was in just about every single sport under the sun, and I love to swim, so I, started swimming and I swam, competitively while I was, like, at school where in England, it's all kinda through a club system, it's not
Okay.
really through your school, so, I was training for swimming, and then, we'd go to school, whatever. Swam until competitively until I was about 16. And then I remember deciding that I wanted to try triathlon. So I signed up for the wait list for the triathlon club, and the wait list was longer than the wait list for the running club. So I was like, well, I'll do the running part, and then, I already have the swimming, so I'll eventually pick up the bike, like whatever, I'll figure it out. I started running. I realized I preferred running to swimming. I didn't have to get in a cold pool at 5
Yeah.
in the morning. So it's like, sign me up. Um, so I started running, and then I was really just enjoying running and seeing the progression that I was getting with running, and kind of this like direct correlation between, the amount of work that you put in is kind of what you get out of it at that
Mhm.
point in my career. So it was, yeah, so eventually I stopped swimming and just focused on running. And this was in my last 2 years of high school in England.
Mm.
And I started getting recruited to go to the States to run. I went to Penn State for a year and a half, I think. It was
Mm.
technically 2 years, but during COVID, I transferred to the University of Arkansas.
Mhm.
And then I spent the next 3 years at the University of Arkansas, finished my degree, finished my master's there. And by this point, my accent is a mess. It sounds Australian. It sounds, I don't even know what it sounds like, because, a lot of my British friends, they come to the States and then they call home and they
Yeah.
hearing British accents. I'm calling home and I'm hearing my parents with like Spanish accents.
Sure.
So, I've lived in Pennsylvania, in Arkansas. I'm not going back to England very much. By now, my accent just sounds like a disaster. And so, yeah, I spent those 3 years at Arkansas, graduated, and by this point, I was pretty kind of confused with my running journey.
Mm.
Didn't really know what I wanted to do. Had had a lot of injuries in the NCAA system,
Mhm.
and I knew I still wanted to run, but I had a really successful freshman year, and then after that, I never really was able to find that kind of magic again.
Hmm.
So I took a little bit of a break. I lived in California for a year, and I just did my own thing. I ran 55 miles a week every single week with
Huh.
no workouts, no coach, just did a long run and strides, and was trying to figure out my relationship with running and what I wanted to do. Eventually, I decided, okay, I do still want to do this, and so I decided to connect with the Uruguayan Federation and see if I could, switch allegiance to try and run for Uruguay. Because again, like I said, by this point, I haven't been back to England in like 6 years. So
Sure.
they kind of, I didn't really feel super tied to Great Britain. I mean, I still obviously feel British. It's like,
Mhm.
where I grew up and my culture and my friends, everything. But at the same time, I had already represented Great Britain, so I thought, why not try something else? I eventually came to my job was remote after this. So sorry, this is a very confusing
I love
story.
it. No, it is so
But
interesting. Keep talking.
um my job was I was working for the West Coast Conference. I had
Okay.
it was like a 1 year internship, so that's why I was in California. But eventually I switched to a remote job with Ohio University. I was a project manager.
Okay.
So my job became remote, and so there wasn't really much keeping me in California by this point, because I had already finished my internship. My job was remote. I didn't really have people to run with. I didn't really
Mhm.
know that many people. So I came to visit my friend Chrissy Gia, who lives out here in
Oh.
Flagstaff.
Also,
With
Razorback.
Yes, exactly.
Mhm.
So I came to come visit her, and originally it was just, I'm gonna come visit her, and I don't know, just visit her, whatever.
Yeah.
And I got out here and I loved it. And I found
Oh.
people to run with. I was just really enjoying the running community that's out here. Eventually, that turned into me meeting Danny Polarecki, who is my now training partner, who introduced me to her husband, who is my now coach,
Oh
Jack
my gosh.
Polarecki. And then from there, I basically was like, well, I'm going to stay in Flagstaff. My job is remote. So why would I go back to California? And stayed in Flagstaff and have been here ever since. And it's kind of all snowballed from there.
What a story. I mean, I love it. I love that you have been able to just go through all these different phases of life. And you're still what? Are you 26 yet?
Yes, I turned 26 in September.
Oh my gosh. I mean, you have so much life to live and you've lived so much and you are truly an international athlete. I mean, that's like so fun, you know? Um first of all, what did you study?
My undergrad was in psychology, and then I got my master's in business, so my MBA.
Oh, okay, great. So you're still working full time along with being a full-time professional runner.
No. No, no, no.
No, you're not working anymore.
I, actually, my last day of my job, I think, was 2 weeks before my first marathon. I
Oh,
believe it was actually probably right around a year ago today.
really?
Yeah, or
And
maybe,
then
like, in 2 weeks a year ago today,
huh.
something like that.
So Flagstaff obviously has so many great athletes. Chrissy Gear,
Mhm.
she's been on the show. She's, won USATF championships. She's represented the US, like just such a phenomenal person and really fun person to be around. So I get it. I get why you'd want to move out there and hang with her. Um,
Yeah.
but I mean, you're good at a lot of different distances, but really this marathon thing came on last year and you ran 2:27, set your national record there in upstate New York, right? Upstate New York? Is that what you
Mhm.
say? Yeah,
It was I believe so.
I
My
think so.
geography is not great. Somewhere in New York.
Yeah, I think it's upstate. It's a little further than the city. Um, but I mean, did you ever think this marathon was gonna be like your distance? Where you were gonna go and win a world bronze medal?
I don't think I ever thought I was gonna get a world bronze medal. I did think that the marathon was gonna be my distance.
Okay.
I have always loved the longer stuff. The
Mhm.
problem was I just never felt like I was able to, either show it or get to that point in my
Yeah.
running career. So, when the NCAA, I despise cross country, for example, but I was
Really?
always healthy for cross country. Yeah, which is ironic because you'd think, distance
Yeah.
runner, she loves cross country. No,
Nope.
um,
Okay.
I don't like cross country. I would then get injured during indoor track because, my
Mm.
stride, I'm tall, kind of,
Yep.
yeah, it didn't agree with me. And so then I would never really make it to outdoor season in one piece. So I wouldn't really ever get to run the 10K. So I think I ran maybe 3 10Ks in my NCAA time,
Okay.
and, like, 2 of them were my freshman year, so,
Hmm.
it was I kind of never really just got to show those distances, but I've always loved long runs, they've tempos, long runs, anything threshold, it's always been the type of thing I like, the longer the better. I do not like to run fast,
Yeah.
and I'm a very much a rhythm runner, so I like the roads. I've always really liked the roads. I like kind of flat out and backs. I
Mhm.
don't mind the treadmill. I don't like things that interrupt my rhythm. And that's why I don't like cross country. So, yeah,
Interesting.
I think I always knew I was going to end up in the marathon, but I just don't think I ever knew that it was going to be so soon.
Yeah. I mean, you've taken to it really, really well. That race in Tokyo, I watched it and
Mhm.
it was pretty awesome. I mean, it was very hot and humid. I mean,
Yeah.
people were, looking pretty bad early on. But you didn't, and we didn't get to see a lot of you because you were climbing your way up. I mean, it was just like
Mhm.
you just kept closing in. There was a couple times where we're like, who's this girl coming up? And you just kept the gas on. You were ranked 288th coming into the race.
Mhm.
What I mean, I've read about your goals, but tell us a little bit about your goals coming in and what your coach and you thought would be a good day.
Yeah. So, I think we knew I was in definitely a lot better shape than whatever I had run in my first marathon.
Okay.
Um,
Which was
but
227.09?
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yep.
So I think we knew I was in better shape than that, but really the whole kind of point was to try and, get experience of competing at, on the world stage and in one of these big marathons, because this was polar opposite to the marathon that I did that was a 3-mile loop around a lake where there was, I believe 6 other women in the race.
Mhm. Mhm.
I had a pacer for 21 miles. So it was essentially like an extremely, extremely hard workout because it wasn't like there was all these people lined up everywhere cheering and this whole big thing. So I think the kind of goal was just, understand what a global championship is like and what
Yeah.
these big marathon races are like. And I knew that at these championship races, if they're really hot, a lot of the time people won't finish because, in the marathon, you only have
Mhm.
so many marathons you can run in a year. So if it's not going well, a lot of the time people won't finish so they can save that effort for, their fall marathon or whatever it may be. So I believe we kind of went into this. I sat down with my coach the night before and I was like, okay, like, what are our goals? Like, I know that, like, roughly, okay, the goal is, I don't know, just perform well, whatever,
Yeah.
but like, what specifically? Because we hadn't really spoken about it that much because these global races are so kind of unknown and up in the air that we hadn't really put anything really that tangible on it
Mhm.
yet. So, he kinda said to me, "Okay, we have an A, a B, and a C goal." So, the C goal was finish the race.
Okay.
It's gonna be really hot, the conditions are gonna be
Sure.
terrible, so honestly, like, just finish. Running a marathon is just an accomplishment in and of itself, so just
Mhm.
get to that end line. The kinda B goal was, okay, top I don't know what he said, it was, like, maybe top 40 or top 30, something like that.
Mhm.
And then a goal was, okay, if you're having like a really, really good day, let's try and shoot for like, I believe he said top 8 or top 10. I
Oh.
honestly at this point I don't really remember what he
Yeah.
said. Um, and I kind of remember looking at him and being like, I don't know about that. It seems a little ambitious. And he kind of looked at me like, yeah, like, if you're having a really good day, but, like, both of us looked at each other like, it's probably a little unattainable." Um, and I remember him even mentioning Molly Seidel and being like,
Mhm.
"Yeah, like, it's crazy that, like, she got a bronze medal at her first kinda global
Yeah.
championships when, like, there's so much to learn," because we were both like, it was my coach's first time at one of these championships too, so, like, we were both just learning how the whole thing
Mhm.
works, like, it's a completely new experience, like, having to understand, even just the days leading up to it, like, the practice tracks and where you
Yep.
can run, and the hotel was, like, this huge, like, maze of a hotel, like, it was you had to, like, transfer floors to get to different it was, yeah, a lot to learn.
Sure.
Um, so just understanding all of that was, kind of a feat in and of itself. So yeah, that was kind of those were the goals that we had set out. So,
Okay.
um, yeah, sorry, that was a
I
very long answer to your question.
I just I keep thinking though of how you kept your cool during it. Well, first of all, you were hot. You it was humid. It was everyone was just drenched. You had the cooling headband on.
Mhm.
Um, like I don't know how you kept it together enough to know to just keep working. And then I read that you really had no clue where you were. You didn't even know
Yeah.
what place you were in because the people that were cheering for you, yeah, you maybe heard, here and there some English voices, but you heard mostly Japanese voices. And
Mhm.
so you had no clue what position you were in.
Yeah. No, I had no idea. I knew kind of vaguely that like, at some point, I knew I was in around top 8. I
Okay.
also am very used to doing a lot of kind of miles solo, and
Mm,
I'm pretty, in tune with my own effort, I guess. So
yep.
when I was running, I think I was able to keep my cool just because I was like, "Well, I've done some really hard workouts and, this feels similar, so I know I can keep going," and I'm just kind of very accustomed to that feeling. So it was just like, okay, press on the gas, keep going. And I think also the fact that I had people coming back to me, you're getting those positive endorphins every time you pass someone. You're like, okay, like
Yeah.
this is great, like this is going well. So I think that all of those things kind of attributed,
Mm,
and I was trying to just not think about position. I think I had faith in myself that I
yeah.
could finish in the top 10. And so I didn't freak out too much when I was in that position, but when I was in third, I had no idea I was in
Yeah.
third. That one I didn't know. I just knew at some point I remember someone yelling at me that I was in 12th, and then I
Okay.
remember passing a few people, so I remember thinking, okay, I'm probably in around 8th.
Mm.
And then from that point on, honestly, I was in a lot of pain and I was just trying to get to the finish line.
For sure. I mean, what was interesting is that you probably saw Susanna Sullivan way out because you guys kind of had some hairpin turns.
Yes.
So you could see her way out for most of the race. At least,
Mhm.
that's how we saw it too. And then even Jess McLean was up there for a while, but then you caught her. So you must have been like, I'm having an awesome race because those American women very well. I'm sure well, Kenyon's Paris Jepchirchir, the Olympic champion, was the one who ended up winning. Tagisa Sefa, the world record holder at previous, but she, I guess,
Mhm.
technically is the world record holder. I don't know how that all
Mhm.
works. She's not technically, but maybe she should be. Anyway, she was up there. Like, you had to have known you were like running with some of the best in the world here up front, not just in the race, but right there by you.
Yeah, I think when I passed Jess, so Jess was up here in Flagstaff,
Uh-huh.
doing some of her training before Worlds, and she's great.
So
I'm still in touch
nice.
with her. I saw her the other week.
Yep.
She is wonderful, and she's someone I really look up to. And I think
Mm.
I knew some of the stuff she had done up here, and I knew she was in shape. So she's a really fierce competitor. So when I
She is.
passed her, I think I knew I was having a good day because, she's not someone that's easy to beat.
Yeah.
So I think that, and then also I remember when I was getting a little further ahead, I remember seeing the little cart, like the car with the camera with the
Yeah.
motorbike or whoever it was.
Hmm.
But I remember being like, okay, well, they only really usually have these at the front, so I got to be pretty close to the front here.
Yeah.
um, which honestly, I really didn't enjoy when I caught up to that, van thing because the exhaust fumes were
Oh,
really hot, and I remember trying to kind of
get
move
away from
away
it.
from the cot because I'm like, "It's already, like, 1,000,000 degrees, I don't really want hot fumes in my face." Um, but I do remember seeing them, and I was like, "Okay, I gotta be pretty close to the front because,
I
like,
love
I
that.
wouldn't hit this thing otherwise."
Okay, so I used to say I need and I think they have like fresh cut grass smelling candles, but I love
Mhm.
that because I loved cross country, and that
Okay.
smell always brings back cross country, and also the exhaust from the golf carts because they used to
Mhm.
lead us, the golf carts. So maybe you need to get a candle of that exhaust just to smell every now and then because it'll bring back really good memories.
Yeah, although I don't know if I wanna be thinking about cross country when I'm in a marathon.
No, but you want to think about that van, the smell of that van.
True.
'Cause
That's
that
true.
means that's metal smelling smells. Um,
I'll think about that. That's a good
yeah, yeah,
idea.
yeah. Just think of it. You can just think of it. Visualize that smell. What did you do to celebrate? I mean, we were all celebrating. I was texting James McKirdy, who is the owner of the group that you run with, McKirdy Train.
Uh-huh.
He was going crazy with me. I'm like, James, you need to watch this, but I should go back and read you the text. It was so fun. And, everyone was just so thrilled for you. I mean, I think we all love to see that Cinderella story
Mhm.
and, see someone blossom into their career. And I didn't even know you, Julia. And it was
Yeah.
like, that was it was so fun to watch you have a moment like that.
Yeah. Well, to celebrate, I had all these plans for after the race to, go explore Japan, and then I was gonna come home, and I moved house not that long ago, so my mom was gonna be in town and we were gonna go like furniture shopping and all of this.
Yeah.
None of that ended up happening. My phone was on fire. My parents' phones were on fire. They were
Yeah.
getting messages from like people in Uruguay that they, went to like high school with that suddenly had
Oh,
been they're like, "Wait, is this your daughter?" Da 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 da, because they
so
see the
cool.
like the last name. Um, so those next few days in Japan were honestly just a lot of like interviews and just kind of talking about the race, I guess. Also, I
Uh-huh.
was very, very tired. So I didn't really have that much energy in me to do a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
Um But yeah, then when I came back to Flagstaff, I actually ended up getting sick because,
Oh,
the trip, the marathon, everything,
yeah.
it was all kinda just a lot on my body. But yeah, I really just spent time with my friends. It was really nice to kind of just be able to celebrate with them. They threw me a surprise party, which was
I
great.
saw that. Yeah.
I was very surprised. Probably my face
Oh,
probably looked just like it did at the end of that marathon. Um, but that was kind of really what I wanted to do. I just wanted to celebrate with the people that had helped me get there and the people
mm,
that had kind of been around me the whole like journey. And that was really, really special to just be back in Flagstaff. And everyone was like at the airport when I got off my flight. My teammates had these like really big printed posters of me.
yeah.
So yeah, that was really how I celebrated. Not anything crazy, just spending it kind of with the people that I really care about. So yeah.
It's really fun to see. And then you were so good to document some of that and put it on Instagram. It was fun for all of us to kind of watch you celebrate and be surprised and all that. Um, what's life been like since? I mean, how has it changed?
Yeah. So it's been kind of crazy. So, I had a lot of media and interview requests. But then at the same time, I took a 2-week break and then
Mm,
I was really just itching to get back into routine. I am very much a creature of habit. I like
mm-hmm.
routine. I like structure. I feel like that's a lot of runners. Um, but I think I did kind of miss some form of normality because, I was not prepared for everything that was gonna happen after Japan. Like,
Yeah.
suddenly, people when I was in Japan, people were asking for pictures of me and, like, knew who I was, and I was like, What is going on?" Like,
Right.
I never got that attention in the NCAA. I was never an All-American,
Mm-hmm.
so I think my life did kinda change a lot, and it was great, but it was also really, really exhausting.
Yeah.
I think I really wasn't prepared for the kind of flip. Um,
Yep.
and yeah, so it was a little overwhelming, I'd say is probably the best way to describe it. But
Mm,
I did start getting back into training and then I was trying to figure out what races I would do next. And then I ended up getting a little bit of like an IT band knee setback. And that was a very strange kind of paradox because, I'm doing these interviews talking about Japan and talking about like the world championships, but at the same time, I'm here in Flagstaff and I'm like, well, I'm on the elliptical right
a
now. Like
little
I'm not
banged
even
up.
really
Yep.
running. So it was a very strange kind of two worlds going on.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, things have settled now. I'm back running. I'm training for the London Marathon, which I am
Yeah.
very, very excited to do. Um, and yeah, I think that it's been just a really great experience. And I mean, I wouldn't
Mm,
change it. I think that it's been a really cool opportunity to be able to also, put Uruguay on the map a little bit. A
mm-hmm.
lot of people had never even heard of Uruguay as a country. Like, yeah, if you follow soccer, you probably know
Yeah.
where Uruguay is. But apart from that, there's not that very many people know about it, and it's cool too because like on the men's side, the sport of athletics is growing too. We have Valentin Soka, who's absolutely killing it. Just set a South American record in the 1500 the other day. So
So cool.
I think it was really cool to be able to get a little bit of recognition for Uruguay
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. I love it. So you are going to run. So you ran the Mesa 10K. That was your first race
Mhm.
back. That was
Yeah,
just
I think I had done. Sorry.
it was just like a few weeks ago. So it was in January
Yes, it was.
or February,
It was 2 weekends
maybe.
ago.
Okay. So maybe
Last
February.
weekend, not the weekend just gone, but the one before.
Right.
Um,
Okay.
yeah.
And then you're
It
getting
was
ready to
Valentine's,
run.
February
Oh,
14th. There we go.
oh, Valentine's Day. Okay. Then
Yes,
you're
it
going to
was the
run.
day felt like everybody was racing. There was all these indoor
Yes.
meets. There was the
You're
Black
right.
Canyon Trail Race. There was Mesa.
Yep.
There was a marathon somewhere. I think it was Seville or something. I don't remember,
Yes,
but
you're
it was
right.
the
It
day
was
that.
a busy weekend. Yeah, for
Yes,
sure. And now you're going to go and do the NYC Half.
yes, exactly.
So that'll be kind of I mean, it's not a tune up, but it'll be sort of a tune up for the London Marathon. So did you race that one?
No, I've only raced 2 halves before, and they were, the Indiana Half Marathon and the Houston Half Marathon,
Houston.
not this year, but the last year.
Okay, so this is your first time running the streets of New York?
Well, I guess downtown New York, yes. I mean, I ran
Ah,
the marathon in New York, but yeah.
yeah. Oh my gosh, so fun. Okay, so you ran the marathon. Yeah, let's just clarify for people. So your marathon was upstate New York, not the New York City Marathon. Is it called the McKirdy Trained Marathon or Micro?
I
What is the name of it again?
believe the official name is the McKirdy Micro.
I think so too. McKirdy Micro.
Yes.
It's only been around for 2 or 3 years.
I
It's
think
new.
3. I know
Yeah.
Callie Thackeray, I think,
Yep.
was the first woman to do it, and she ran really fast there.
Super fast,
Um,
2:22.
and then yes, and
Yeah.
then, so probably this might be its 3rd year. It's coming up, it's next
Yes,
month.
coming up. Yeah. It's a great marathon. Like you said, it's small. They have all the fluids there for you, all the cool
Yes.
stuff. Um, but okay, so talk about the NYC half a little bit and how that's going to help you for London.
Yeah. So for the last 2 marathon builds I've done, we've always done a half or a shorter race in the lead up to it, maybe
Hmm.
like 6 weeks out from the marathon. So for Japan, I did Big 7 in Iowa
Oh
to
yeah.
kind of get me prepared. And so this time it'll be the New York half. Yeah, I am really excited to just do another one of these big races. Kind of the only big half marathon that I did was the Houston half, which,
Yeah.
this is, I feel like, pretty similar in terms of there's going to be a lot of other really great pros in the field, kind of, all those technical meetings that you have before
Hmm.
and that kind of environment. So I'm excited for that. Really just trying to get in a good solid effort. It's been a little bit of a crash course back to fitness
Sure.
recently because, I haven't had that many workouts under my belt. Not trying to, give a whole bunch of excuses or anything. But I think my first kind of, I would say, real workout was maybe or 2.5, 3 weeks before Mesa. So,
Okay.
yeah, I had to take some time where I wasn't not running, but I
Hmm.
wasn't it was kinda touch and go. Like, it would be,
Sure.
okay, a 4-mile run one day, and then the next day it would kinda hurt, so I wouldn't run, and then it was a strange kind of 2 months, I would say.
Yeah.
But definitely getting back into fitness, did a solid long run workout on the weekend, so,
Hmm.
I think I should be fairly fit by the time of the race. And yeah, just gonna give it my best shot and try and compete and do what I can and use that experience to then go into London like with the most fitness that I can.
Yeah. How many are you like a big mileage gal? Or I know you said you like to run, but how many miles a week do you run?
Yeah, I would say for the last month, I think, or maybe 3 month. I don't want to say all my numbers wrong and then be called out for this. um, if I say anything wrong, it's by mistake.
It's marathon fatigue.
Yeah. I am an open book. I don't hide anything. My
Yeah.
Strava's my line. Like, you can ask me whatever.
Right.
Um, but I'd say I'm being at about 87-ish. I
Okay.
don't like count my mileage myself. My
Mm,
coach essentially puts in what I have to do in the week in this app that we use called VDOT, and then
okay.
whatever is in there is what I do. So like,
Yeah.
if I'm at 85 miles for the week, like, there's nothing I can do about it. It's not like I can go, like, do an extra, I don't know, 5-mile run to hit 100 because, like, it's not what my coach put in my schedule. So
Mm,
I don't really count it because, like, there's no point. Like, I can't do anything about it. It's whatever it says in the thing.
that's
So I let
amazing.
him take care of that. I think, yeah, I'd say I think I averaged probably between 85 to 90 in the build to Japan. I was probably closer to 75, 80 in the
Okay.
build for the McKirdy Marathon. I've never I've never done more than maybe 95 has been my highest ever.
Mm,
Again, I don't really know because, like, yeah, I know ballpark because, like, it says my totals on, like, Strava or on Vito at the end of the week, but, like, I don't really specifically count it. But
yep.
I'd say I probably sit around 80. 7, I'm gonna say.
Okay.
It sounds
Oh,
about right.
that isn't very much. I mean, a lot of the athletes that are training now strictly for the marathon are up there at like 120, even 130. So
Mhm.
I love it. And you're young, so it's nice to know that you still have a ways to go if you want to.
Yeah, I think also with mileage, so there's a lot of factors, but I only started doubling when I moved to Flagstaff. So this
Mhm.
was a year and I don't know, 6 months ago ish.
Yeah.
So I think that, it's my coach has been really good with only adding in like 5 miles or so every block.
Yeah.
And I'm improving with the amount that I'm running now. And I would also say I am not someone that likes to slog mileage. I'm
Mm.
working on doing better with running my easy days easier, but I think that also kind of plays a part of it in that
Sure.
a lot of people that are running a lot more mileage, they are good at taking their easy days easy. That's
Yeah.
not something I'm good at.
Not something you're good
I
at.
will fully admit that. And so I think that a lot of my mileage is pretty high quality too.
Yeah.
And I also think that our workouts that we do, so I'll do double T usually on like a Tuesday and
Double
then a
threshold.
long
Yep.
run workout every Saturday. So
Okay.
a lot of that mileage is very kind of quality mileage. So
Yeah.
I think that that kind of plays a role in it too.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that that's some athletes are ones that just like to go out there and see those numbers of miles creep up and they do easy miles. It's kind of each their own, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it is what it is. What kind of racer are you? Like in a perfect world, I mean, that day seemed to go pretty perfect, but it was also the conditions were super hard. And, there was a lot that went behind that bronze medal there. So like when you go to New York or when you go to London and you have the perfect day and everyone's like, "Oh, I want to see Julia race." What are you hoping for? Are you one to still kind of see what happens in front of you and let the race unfold, or do you like to take charge?
That's a really good question because I actually don't know what type of racer I am.
Mm.
Because if you had asked me this while I was still in college or while I was in high school, I would just like sprint at the beginning of the race and try and hold on for dear life. And it worked really well when I had success with that. But once I lost some fitness after being injured a little bit in those middle
Mhm.
years of college, that tactic didn't work so well anymore. And I just get absolutely swallowed by like the
Sure.
pack behind me. So it is weird because since I started running on the roads, I felt much more in my element and much more
Okay.
confident. So I feel okay starting off a little slower, and I've actually had a trend in my pro career of catching people rather than
Yep.
being the one that's caught, which is something I've been running for about 10 years now,
Sure.
something I did not experience until the last 2 years. So, or even the last year. So had you asked me that before, I would have said I was a just hammer from the front
Hammer.
and
Yeah.
try and hold on. And now it seems to be a little
Hmm.
different. I also didn't used to be good with bad conditions or hills, which
Hmm.
again doesn't seem to correlate with the last 5K of Japan was
Yeah.
hilly, was also hot. My freshman year, I ran in the 5K at NCAA's outdoors, and it was brutally hot. It was in Texas in Austin, and I,
Yep.
I came last. Like I think I ran 17:13 or something in a
Yeah.
5K. Like it was dreadful.
Huh.
Um, so I don't know.
You're callousing.
Is
I think you're just callousing. You're learning how to deal with it. And that again, it just shows that you're young in this career and you have like so much to go. It's so exciting.
Yeah. So I think when for New York is just going to be New York. I'm not sure. I need to
Yeah.
talk to my coach about the kind of race plan for that. I actually don't really know. But for London, I think I just want to go out there and try and run a PR. I mean,
Mhm.
wherever I fall in terms of place wise, I don't really think about that much because that's not controllable. I can't
Yeah.
control the people ahead or behind me, but I can try and give my best effort, and I'm just going to try and run as fast as I can. It's a fast course,
Yep.
and just get more marathon experience.
Yeah.
I'm not, I think one of the things that my coach has been really good with was and my agent too, James McKirdy, who's the leader of the group, but also my agent.
Mhm.
They've both been great with like okay, you don't have to have these like huge jumps every time you run a
Right.
marathon from now on. Like you're still young in your career. Like yes, you did this really great thing, but like let's just try and PR. Like let's just
Mm-hmm.
try and run better than you have before. You don't have to do this, you know, huge feat of a,
Sure.
thing. So yeah.
I love that they tell you that too, because forever you will be a bronze medalist, forever. But
Mhm.
you have a long career, hopefully, and you have to find the joy in all the different things that a race gives you. And so I think that's super smart. Um, Before I let you go, can we do some rapid fire just to get to know you a little bit more?
Yes, of course.
Okay. These are kind of quick ones. So would you
Okay.
rather run in hot and humid weather or cold and rainy?
Oh, hot and humid. I hate the cold.
Okay. Do you like to pass people or hold them off? I think I know, but what would you rather do? Pass people or have to hold them
um,
off?
Past people.
Yeah. Okay. I like it. Do you like long lashes? Because you can see your beautiful lashes when you're racing, even. Or do you like long nails?
Oh, that's a good I don't know because I have long
Oh,
nails right.
look at mine. Mine are total like I am such a violinist, which I don't play anymore, but I
Mhm.
and a basketball player. So yeah, you tell.
No, I have to give a shout out to Lauren Ryan. She runs
Ah,
for Australia. She just moved
yeah,
up here to Flagstaff not that long ago, and
yeah.
she had her nails like this, and I was like, "Lauren, I need those." So,
So cute.
yeah, I
Um,
think I think I'm gonna go with long eyelashes, but, that's a hard one. I'm gonna say it's like a 45-45% the
oh,
difference.
okay. Well, I gotta get both. I do have lashes that I can put on, and I don't know how to do
Mine
it.
are fake. That is my
Are they?
disclaimer. That
And
no,
are
they're
they?
not.
Oh, they're not. Ooh,
No.
nice. Yeah, I gotta work on these. This one I think is like, I jammed it, so it's like a little bit black. I need to put some color on there. Okay. Cold tubs or saunas?
A sauna. Yeah, not the cold. I don't like the cold.
I'm getting to know you. Okay. Tempo runs or short intervals, like 800-meter repeats?
Tempo.
I like that too, actually. Would you rather speak English or Spanish?
English.
Yeah.
And I
Okay.
think that's because I would rather speak English just because I've spent so long in English speaking places that
Mm-hmm.
now I think in English. So,
Ah,
when I go to Uruguay, it's like after I've spent a few weeks there, it's much easier to speak in Spanish. But at
okay.
first, I feel like I'm kind of fighting my brain a little bit. But yeah.
Mm. I love it. Okay. Either way, we'll take it either way. Empanadas or tacos?
Uh, Tacos.
Really? I do
Think
love a
so.
good empanada, though. They are so good, but I do love tacos too. Okay. Go dancing or watch movies?
Oh, watch movies. I can't dance to save my life.
I doubt that, but okay. How about this
No,
one?
no,
LA
it's
20.
bad.
Oh, what? It's really
It's
bad. You're
bad. I'm
dancing.
like your typical awkward distance runner, no
Ah,
rhythm. No.
but you could probably dance for 4 hours and, whatever. A lot of people get
I
tired. You
could
won't.
maybe like sway for 4 hours.
Oh, fun. Okay. LA 2028 or LA 2028?
LA 2028.
I know. I've read that your goal is to get there. So we wish you all the best of luck. And we'll see you in New York.
Yeah. No, I can't wait. I'm excited. Hopefully it's not
Yay.
cold.
I know. I think they got the snow now. So hopefully that's out of the way.
Yeah, we'll see.
Thanks, Julia. Congratulations on everything. It's been fun to get to know you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Thanks so much for joining me today on See Tally Run. My guest was Julia Paternain. You can find her on social media at JuliaPaternain_. Big shout out to Run for supporting the show and to Andrew Harley, producer of the Run and See Tally Run podcasts. Also, if you're a fan of this pod, we'd love to ask you to leave a rating and review in iTunes. All you have to do is visit ctallyrun.com/review, and it'll bring you right to our show's page. We're on Facebook, YouTube, X, Instagram at ctallyrun and at Carrie Tollefson. And you can also head on over to our website, ctallyrun.com. Thank you so much for joining us today. And don't forget to get after it.